Hi, hello there. My name is Eunice Njeri. This is Hustles Zetu, and we're delighted to bring you something that is not very common with people in the marketplace, but something that people do to keep their lives running, and this is running a social enterprise. I am delighted to host Mr. Michael Wafula, and I will let him give him a brief introduction of himself on what it is that he has been doing and how to run a social enterprise. Karibu sana.
Thank you so much, Eunice. My name is Michael Wafula, and I'm so delighted this afternoon to be here and even to just share what I do. I've been working for NGOs, that is non-governmental organizations, since the year 2014.
Yes.
And basically our work is to reach out to the community, help the children, provide sponsorship, food, shelter to families, and even clothing. So I've been working with Childcare Worldwide since 2014 to 2018. And then 2021 to 2023, I've been working also for Livingstone Global organization.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sounds like quite an experience you have there. So social enterprises, are they the same as NGOs, community-based organizations? Would you categorize them in that?
NGO is a non-governmental. It is not a government organization, and also it's not there for profits. So basically, where we get our funds as NGOs is basically maybe from governments, from people, but those are donations.
Okay.
But social enterprise is where you do business, but you bring the monies and give it back to the people, basically for change of the community or the environment, you know. It's basically for humanity. Okay. So you put profits there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, well, interesting, because I thought if you're running an NGO and you're getting financing from somewhere and maybe you're taking care of children, that sounded like you were taking care of a social problem in the society.
Exactly, exactly. But I differentiate between NGO and social enterprise.
Okay.
It's basically where you get your money from. NGOs mostly don't do business.
Okay.
They get from donations.
Okay.
But a social enterprise is when you do business. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what major problems do these social enterprises seek to solve, or have you come across any that has solved a problem within Nakuru City?
A lot of problems, and basically, as you may know, the community at the moment goes through so many challenges. We're just from the COVID-19 pandemic, and so we are recovering, and there are so many families that were hit, and they've never recovered ever since.
Okay.
And so we also have slums in the urban centers. Like here in Nakuru, we have slums in Kaptembwa, London, and even in other places here in Nakuru. Yeah. And so there are so many families that are not privileged. Actually, over 40% of the population
in Kenya
need to be assisted.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now this is where the aspect of a social enterprise comes in.
Exactly.
Do you have any example of how maybe people in Kaptembwa, London, like a social enterprise one would undertake to be able to help those communities down there?
The challenge that we have is getting genuine people who genuinely want to help the community.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, true.
But if you genuinely want to help the community, then there are channels that you can follow. First of all, you need to register.
Okay.
Maybe an NGO, maybe a foundation, maybe a business, but a business that is a non-profit business. And so you can find a channel that you can pursue.
Okay.
And then once you've pursued, you've registered, then go to the ground, see what's happening on the ground, see what your niche is. Do I want to focus on the children? Do I want to focus on the vulnerable women? The GBV cases?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, do I want to focus on the food crisis? What do I really want to focus on? And then once you define what you want, then you go that way. Now, the challenge is also getting funding.
Okay.
But unfortunately, many of us don't start something because you look at the big funds.
Yeah, true.
Okay?
Yeah.
We don't have money in the big funds. We have money in shillings, in
Yeah,
1, 2, 3, 4. And I believe every Kenyan or many people that you can approach, they can give towards a social enterprise or an NGO.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Now, I'm also thinking, now when we talk of a social problem, a
Yes.
social enterprise, does that mean they must have some economic activity? Let's say I'm a businesswoman,
Yes.
I'm already thriving, and I want to help the women in Kaptembwa. Is it something I can channel through like a CSR activity, and maybe, is it if a company running a CSR activity and another one running a social enterprise? What do you think the difference between those two is?
The difference is the CSR does not have consistency.
Oh,
You only make profits and go give.
and that's it. And maybe
that's
it's
it.
yearly.
Exactly.
Yeah, true.
So, but you see, what we need to focus on is changing the lives of the people. Now, how do you change? There must be consistency. There must be a program or a plan in place to say, within the next 5 years, I want to achieve this. And that's how you can achieve. So basically, if CSRs could be channeled to social enterprises or NGOs, it would actually do a lot. Yes, a lot more.
Okay.
Yes.
So these social enterprises funding non-governmental organizations and the community-based organizations, that's what you mean?
Yes.
Okay. Now, what unique challenges have you faced in your career? You have a career spanning quite a number of years in the NGOs. What unique challenges have you faced in your career?
Basically, when people hear the name NGO, they know free things are coming.
Yes.
So even the people who have money sometimes want to be assisted. When we do education, even people with their money, they want their children to be taken to school without them paying.
Yeah,
So that is one of the challenges. Okay, so it's people understanding that this NGO is there to solve a social problem. You don't have to take your children there if you have the money.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Secondly, the other challenge is when people look at the NGO and say, there are funders in the US, in Europe, in Australia, wherever it is, not knowing that we can fund our own local programs and our own local issues. So that is also the other challenge.
Okay.
The other challenge is also basically with the government. Sometimes these regulations are so hard. You know, the government does not really favor so much the NGOs, and I really don't know why. Yes, so that is another challenge with the government. And also sometimes the needs are huge and you don't have money.
Okay.
So, you know, like NGOs basically thrive in assisting the community.
Yeah, true.
And assisting the community, basically you need money. And sometimes you don't have this money.
Okay. So you're basically saying that if we found local Kenyan-made, homemade solutions, like there was a time there was hunger in the northern Kenya.
Yep.
So there was a Kenya for Kenya, toa 10 bob, mwingine asaidike. A social enterprise is not that kind of a thing, because that's an occasional thing. Yeah? So how is an NGO different, or how do people be compelled, or let's say if I want to begin a children's home, how can I compel the people in my community to be able to come and trust me to be able to achieve whatever missions that I have?
As I said, one thing is consistency and trust. Building trust takes time, but also everyone has a cycle of friends, you know. Like I have 10 people that trust me, that I can start with. Share the vision with them, show them what I'm doing, and start with that number of people. Secondly, you can also start with your own resources. Maybe you have a house that you're not using, you have money, you have whatever it is, start with your own resources and build up from that point. So what I'm just trying to say is that we need to find a way, you know, not waiting for money, not waiting for people, not waiting for someone to tell us go for us to go. We can always start with the little that we have. And also, we don't have to change 200 children at once. We can just
start
change
with
one.
True.
2, 3.
Okay.
And if all of us did that, then it will be great.
Okay.
And if you can change one, someone else can change one, and then channel that money to an organization, then you'll change so many.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in your career, how have these two organizations you've worked with been able to measure the impact that they have made in the society, and what metrics have you used?
We measure the impact by the changed lives, okay? And actually, again, measuring the impact takes a long, protracted period of time. For instance, if you're providing education, have you achieved that education? Have you taken this child to school? Now we don't just talk about education, we also talk about character.
Oh yeah. True.
You can give education, then you realize you just bumped their heads, but their heart very small.
They have not changed.
Yeah, they don't have any humanity in their hearts, you know. So what we do is that we measure according to our values and according to our goals. What goals and objectives do we have? So based on that and the values that we hold, what have we achieved against that? But also just to tell you that it is not easy sometimes to measure change in humans' life. You know, it takes a long time. And it takes consistency. And it also takes a village to bring up a child. Yes.
Do you have any very special cases that you saw that this child came in this way, or we found this person this way, and you were able to leave them in a better standing? Do you have at least one?
Yeah, even the MCA of Njoro, the MCA in Njoro here in Nakuru was educated by childcare.
Wow, nice.
So we took him through school, through college, he vied, and now he's an MCA of Njoro.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, so he was taken through sponsorship.
Okay.
And there are so many typical cases like that, people doing businesses, we have engineers, we have whatever it is. But also what we insist is we want to get somebody discover themselves. You know, you don't have to be an engineer to be successful.
True.
We have chefs, we have nurses. You know, these are professions that in Kenya people downlook, you know. We can always also say those professions really matter because that is what God has called you to be. So you just become what you are meant to be.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow, this is quite an interesting conversation. We are at the end of part 1 of our conversation on running a social enterprise in Kenya. Remember, we are at the Vicmark Hotel, the cradle of comfort. Vicmark Hotel is right in the middle of Nakuru CBD, and they offer conference facilities, accommodation facilities. They have a great restaurant and a rooftop lounge for all your hotel needs. So thank you again. My name is Eunice Njeri. This is Hustles Zetu. Let your light shine in the marketplace.